Hello everyone and welcome back to Train Simulator 2020, and we have made it. We're here, episode 10 of Modernizing Donner Pass. I feel at this point we could have been at episode 25 or 30 by now, but it's just been a struggle within the past year to balance out, school and school work and all the other activities that I try to be involved with. So it was hard to get this series going, and I think by episode 7 I did a route redo and just started from scratch again. So it's just a lot of things that haven't really gone together that well to make this series roll smoothly, but I'm hoping that I can get another good run at it and just crank out some more episodes for you guys. So I want to thank you guys again for following along with this series, and it's just something different, I think, in the Train Simulator community, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it. Again, for all those who have been making comments and just enjoying the series, I appreciate all the support, really. So yeah, we're here doing a nighttime special episode, and I want to do that for, I guess, every 10 episodes is to do a special. So this one's going to be a nighttime special. We'll see where the other ones go for episode 20, 30. Hopefully it doesn't take me that many episodes, but 40 might be the max, really, especially since it's been hard to get rolling on this build, since we're still stuck in Sparks Yard in Reno, Nevada, which is just driving me nuts, and I want to continue west down the line so badly. But as far as I'm concerned, everything around Sparks Yard, I feel, is pretty much complete. Everything, along the tracks, that is. Everything that you're going to see pretty much at a first glance is pretty much done. There's still a bit that I'm hiding east of Sparks Yard that needs to be complete, but most people aren't going to see that area because, well, that's where the route ends. It's not going to continue anywhere else. So things that are going to be done east of Sparks Yard will be done in my own time. It won't be done within a video because most of that surrounding stuff is pretty much what you see here. There's some housing and there's some businesses, but once again, it's not much of anything that people are going to see. It's also going to be less detailed, so there's really no point in me showing that. But still need to complete, again, east side of Sparks Yard to both the northeast of it and the south part of Sparks Yard as well, which is, again, it's an area that's just driving me nuts because I don't know if I want to detail the heck out of it or if I want to not. It's tough. And part of it is because I do have a line of tracks that cut through some of those buildings. So hopefully it gives some people some extra, opportunities to make some scenarios through there. But once again, it's just a balancing act of, whether I detail a lot of it or not. So I sound like a broken record because I think I've talked about that over the past few episodes. So, but yeah, it's comforting to know that after doing a lot of the lights here that you guys will see here in a bit, most of this is complete, and I can start moving on to, the surrounding areas of Reno and the city and keep going west. So what you guys have seen in the past 4 minutes or so is me working on some scenery here just along the north side of the tracks coming out of Sparks Yard on the west side, and just placing a lot of shrubs, a lot of rocks, a lot of trees here, but not overdoing it, because even looking at Google Maps and looking at Street View, there isn't really much in the way of trees, but there's a lot of shrubs, a lot of rocks here, so I might as well just detail the heck out of that at least, and give it some detail in this area. There's also, you can see a little access road and a little maintenance building at the end of the street, or end of the road, I should say. Not really sure what it does, but went ahead and modeled that. You can see here those caution barrels are lighting up, so I just had to get rid of that. And it's another good thing to think about too when you're route building, regardless if it's Train Simulator, and I think even in trains as well, is that you want to look at the nighttime scenarios and look at your route at night and see if it looks good or not. For the most part, most of the building can be done in the daytime, which I think is fine, but when it comes down to maybe some lighting aspects, you want to put your route at like a evening type time like it is right now, where you can still see a lot. Most of the sky is still lighting up the ground, but you can also see how much lights there are when you do eventually place them along the map. So yeah, and it's just a cool, the vibes that you get from building at nighttime is really cool. I don't know what it is. It's just calming and relaxing as well. So you might have some more success really if you build either early mornings or late evenings for a route. Wouldn't recommend doing that all the time, but I don't know. It's just interesting to see. You can even see some shadows too. I think most of the shadows you see from the trees and the buildings and the splines and such is from the moon, actually. That's just northeast and up. That you'll see in later clips as well, or if you catch a glance of it. But yeah, here we are starting the lights, and I feel like there's a lot of pros and cons to doing this. A lot of pros is that, well, you get, your light source is coming from an actual prop. For those who know the base Donner Pass route, it consists a lot of light. I mean, there are lights and there are surrounding lights. However, they use these individual light props that you see right here that I'm using for these interstate boards. And sometimes it gets annoying seeing that, you have all these light sources, but there's not a physical pole there or something that's giving off the light effects. So, but using a lot of the light props, as well, might cause frame drops and cause performance issues. So we'll see how far it goes when we're in the testing phases before releasing this route. Hopefully, if I have to delete some and go to these individual light props, then by all means, I'll do that. But a quick remark about these, especially these spotlight lamps. I did not know you could actually customize the light vibrance, even the color as well, as you saw earlier with the color palette. I had no idea that that existed, and someone needs to tell me how long that has existed in Train Simulator, because I was blown away that was an option. And sometimes I wish that's an option for all the lamp posts as well. Sadly, you can't change them for those, but for those invisible ones, you can change the again, the color of it. You can change the brightness. You can change the radius, and that was so cool. So it was cool to use those spotlights on those interstate billboards, because those billboards didn't come with lights, and usually if you're on the interstate, those are lit up. I also don't think there's any super small lamps that you can use, so using those invisible lights were, it worked out pretty well for that. And what's also important too when doing a lot of these lamps and these lights is that you want to try to have a variety of different lamps and light posts. As you can see, that in that Veterans Center, I use these really nice looking neighborhood lamps, and obviously once we get to the yard, we're using heavy duty yard lamps where no one really cares what they look like as long as they light up the area. So it's just another kind of realism aspect to it as well. It's just, and there's something satisfying as well with putting all these individual lights down and knowing that, again, the light is coming from an actual physical source that you can, see. Again, just a nice touch. But yeah, this is pretty much what the video is. It's just me going around and placing different lights. There's a variety of lamps from different routes. I think most of the ones that I use are from Actually, I don't think I can pinpoint one particular route. I think I use all the routes, Pacific Surfliner, Montana Highline, Chicago. I think I'm using all of those lights. They're mostly all the same to begin with, but you can't really go wrong with light props. They're pretty realistic and detailed, but it's just a matter of mixing them up and, again, using a variety of them. It's cool, a lot of these buildings already come with lights, so that's a plus. It's just another cool detail. It's cool to know that a lot of these props did, a lot of these building props, as you see there with all the loading docks, they took the time to, add lights, working lights into there, which I think is, once again, phenomenal. And you can even see a lot of the Chicago houses that I use, in the, just north of the tracks here, all the windows light up too. And once again, that's just another spectacular detail that's within that route. I believe in Donner Pass, a lot of the house groups, there's like one of those invisible lights like in the middle of the group, and it's just annoying because it's just not realistic. It doesn't look right. But yeah, having the lights through the windows is, again, just a really cool touch. But yeah, I'm happy with this area so far. If anything, there needs to be a few more details, such as stop signs, speed limit signs, as well as telephone poles. That's one thing that I'm truly lacking is telephone poles. And there's a lot of splines for them, and there's also a lot of props. And I'm not sure which I use. Sometimes the splines are okay, but other times the splines don't work good. Yeah, they don't work well because you don't have any control of where the actual wooden, poles go, or, metal poles, whatever it might be. Whereas the props, you do have control over that, but there's no wires in between them. So, not really sure where to go with that. But, those are a few things just to keep in mind that I'll need to finish in the area. They probably won't be caught on video. I don't think I'll record me, doing extra details, especially since the main focus of the series is just to, continue moving west and continue building from Reno. But it is an aspect of route building, and that is just detailing, and just making the route look good. So we'll see. There'll be a point where I just have to balance it out between just working hard on the route and spending some time outside of recording to detail and add a little bit more. And there might be a cool aspect to that as well. If I do more without showing it on camera, I might be able to do a lot of Easter eggs and such throughout the route. So things that you might not catch on video, or that I might not put on video, might be something cool that maybe a player of the route later on down the road can eventually see and get to maybe share with the community and things like that, or share with me saying, hey, I found something cool that you added to the route as well. Although I can't say there'll be many Easter eggs because I'm limited to the amount of props I can use and, well, what's really available to begin with, since I don't want to use too many third-party assets. But, we'll see. Like I said, I'm just kind of proud of where this has gone so far. We take a quick trip back to the Amtrak station in Reno, just adding some station lights, which I think look good. I like the glow of them as well. The yellow glow for the station lights is a nice touch. And you can see here, there's an invisible light prop here, and I couldn't find it. I had to go under the map to find it. There it is. And, sometimes the hue of those invisible lights as well that, cover an area, the colors are also horrible. Most of them are yellow, like the, incandescent light bulbs, and most of it is, now modern LEDs. So having these white LED looking lights is also just a better touch, just to, again, make it look way more modern than, the previous version of Donner Pass. So yeah, I mean, You can even see here a lot of the things that are by the tracks and closer to the tracks is more detailed, but I still have to work on things further away. So once again, hopefully I can crank that out in my own time. I really like these lights. They're not realistic to the lights that are there in real life, which is also another issue too, is that for me, you just have to be creative really with putting lights down. You can't let the overlay guide you. But I really do like these lamps as well, using them along the streets and placing some in the neighborhood. You can see a few of the lights here from the houses and from the buildings. What's cool is that all the houses, all the windows light up, but I think there's a very dim light for the porch as well. So all the porches light up and such. So once again, it's just a nice detail, like especially when you're far off in the distance or you're from the tracks and you're looking out in the distance, you can see all of these little lights, and it's just satisfying, really. If anything, I would totally do more light scenario or night scenarios in Train Simulator, but I don't do enough, and I haven't seen too many really late and nighttime scenarios that often. So hopefully doing this as well will cause people to maybe make more nighttime scenarios on Donner Pass. It just looks so good. I can't get over how good this looks. And just touching up with some traffic lights as well. You'll see me goof up here, but you'll see I'm putting a four-way intersection, but this is for the interstate on and off ramps, which means it's not a four-way intersection, it's actually a three-way intersection. So you'll see here in a bit that I catch myself here because I'm putting you can see I delete one of the traffic lights because I'm like, no, there's no traffic coming from that road. Why am I doing that? But those light poles are also cool too because they're automated as well. They'll just randomly turn green and then go, yellow to red and, go back to green. So it's a cool prop as well if you catch. And putting some lights on the interstate. This is always a tough one too because I think a lot of the interstates in city areas and by on and off ramps will have lights, but I was having a hard time finding the right lamp props. And these were okay. These were from Pacific Surfliner, I believe. And I was close to using the Railworks Community Asset Project pack and their lights because they do have a set of twin-armed lamps, but for some reason they were just super bright and it didn't look good. The road was being washed out and it was too vibrant. So I went with these, which I guess was okay, but again, most interstate highways aren't lit up all the time because you just have the car lights, really. So we'll see. I'll have to work on this. I might switch these double arm lights with single ones and place them on either end of the highway. That might look better too. It might provide more lighting for the interstate, but I don't know. I'm not too happy with that. I'll have to look up videos or pictures of interstates at night, or I might even do some nighttime driving really on some interstates to just get some idea of what they should look like. I think the thing with the Railworks Community pack is that there's two light sources that are super close together, so it just makes it too bright and too vibrant, whereas this one has a single light source, and the lamps themselves have this small glow to them, so they're not incredibly bright. But again, it's just playing around with it, but I'm liking the progress. Again, this little road right here that goes into the tracks, put some more lights there, and once again, it's just looking really good. I'm hoping that this is motivating me. I hope this also motivates the community, and again, just the feedback and just seeing people excited for the route will just help me work harder and harder and harder on getting this route complete. But with that, we are closing to the end of this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I, again, apologize that it's, for episode 10, it's almost been a year since I've started this, so hopefully I can just double and maybe triple the amount of videos that I've been releasing and just, get closer to finishing this route. That's going to be it for me. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy the cinematics at the end, and I'll see you guys in episode 11 of Modernizing Donner Pass.